So there is a quote by Nisargadatta Maharaj where he talks about self-realization. So I'm going to read out the quote. It says, "Your expectation of something unique and dramatic, of some wonderful explosion, is merely hindering and delaying your self-realization. You are not to expect an explosion, for the explosion has already happened at the moment you were born, when you realized yourself as being, knowing, feeling. For a newborn, there is no sense of separate self or me. So a newborn lives in the being, lives with the pure feeling, pure instinct. So when the newborn is hungry, it will cry for mother's attention. The newborn is always spontaneous. So at the time of birth, this being, knowing, or feeling was itself discovered by you. That's what Nisargadatta Maharaj is saying. So what basically he's referring to is that you are expecting a dramatic explosion of an experience where perhaps you will see images of goddesses, or you will see someone coming down, angels from the heaven coming down and telling you that now you have arrived and your self-realization is complete. But he's saying none of that is going to happen. And expecting an experience is actually delaying, it's hindering your self-realization, quote unquote, your self-realization. We have to put in language, so we use that kind of language. We are bound by it. There is no such thing as your self-realization. There is only the eternal self and its own realization. So I'll go further. Maharaj says, there is only one mistake you are making. You take the inner for the outer and outer for the inner. You take inner for the outer, the being. You take it, that is the inner, which you take for the outer. You feel that you are outside. I am the body, I am the mind. That is the delusion. What is in you, you take to be outside you, and what is outside, you take it to be in you. So, in other words, you limit yourself as the mind-body organism, and even the thoughts that arrive in your mind. I am this, I am that. I do this, I do that. All the thoughts that come, every thought is external, and you consider it to be you, the internal. But he's saying that's not the case. The mind and feelings are external, but you take them to be intimate. You believe the world to be objective, but it is entirely a projection of your psyche. Now, Maharaj is not saying that the world is an illusion. What Maharaj here is saying, that world is a projection of your psyche. What that means is, the way I see this world and the way you see this world is very different. Now, I may watch, let's say, a lamp here, and the lamp may be of specific shape and color. And I may say, oh, it's a beautiful lamp. And you may say, oh, it's a very ordinary lamp. Whereas a third person comes into the room and says, this is an ugly lamp. So object is same, but there are three different perceptions. So this is where the illusion is. None of these three perceptions are accurate, because a lamp is just a lamp. Similarly, we believe the world to be objective. That means if I see world as a dark place, as a place with a lot of violence and a lot of wars, which do happen, then my mind perception is colored, completely filtered and colored with that. And then I will see everything as in that same shade, right? But if the shade changes and I see the world as a beautiful place, as a place of love, beauty, exploration, vastness, flow of rivers, then I see the nature, the beauty, and that is a different color of perception. So he's saying that none of these are true. Neither this nor that is true. It is just a projection of your psyche. The world is neither good, bad, or this way or that way. It is just a projection of your psyche. That is the basic confusion, and no new explosion will set it right. You have to think yourself out of it. There is no other way. This is from Nisargadatta Maharaj's book, I Am That. So all Maharaj is pointing to is the supreme reality, which is not bound by any experiences, which is not conditioned, which does not have attributes, which is simply the being, knowing, perception, direct perception of reality. So being is the ground of all perceptions. We may perceive this world a certain way. Some of us may perceive it as good place, some of us may perceive as a bad place, but without being or consciousness, the perception would not even be possible. And Maharaj is pointing to that consciousness. And in the same book, Maharaj also says that when you get caught up in experiences, when you wait for gods and goddesses to shine light on you, what you forget is the background where the experience is manifesting. And the background is the reality. The container that holds everything is consciousness. And nothing exists apart from consciousness. So Maharaj says, don't wait for an explosion. Don't wait for an extraordinary experience to show you reality. Experiences may be wonderful, or may be traumatic, or may be neutral. But the base of it, the bedrock of it is consciousness. And that is what Maharaj is saying here. So if you are interested more in Nisargadatta Maharaj's wisdom, I have a playlist which I'll mention in the description box, and you can check that if you want to. Also, thank you for supporting me on Patreon. Your contributions help with all this filming and keeps the lights on. So those of you who want to join, who want to contribute and join on Patreon as a paid member, you're most welcome. And thank you for listening. Take care.